Pepeging. So Ghost is a Pepega and Black Lanner. Keep that in mind.
Okay, but you're gonna be better than the average, like, you know, pilot, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was interesting. I didn't expect that result.
It's a thing where the Piranha almost has enough armor to heat cap in a 1v1.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened. Like I was.
You're too hot, yeah, and then you got halved, and then yeah, exactly.
And then I can't shoot anymore. Otherwise,
Okay.
I would have killed you.
Let's see. Alright, not even close. Yeah, I thought that might be better. Alright, so this matchup's probably, like, unless you... Maybe if you back yourself into a wall. But realistically, like, this matchup is not really winnable in an isolated 1v1, it seems. Okay.
Sorry, but what? Yeah, and even if I hit the first shot, there's a Piranha just doesn't care. Just keeps charging.
Does not give a shit. Should note that what I'm doing takes like very little like you know, skill, I would say.
And
I'm literally just running circles around you.
As you get close, you run circles, and I have to like I can't just aim with my crosshair. I have to actually press A and D, which like is almost impossible to aim while doing. So like that's the main thing.
Yeah. Like in your agility, I mean the Hunchback, that's a medium mech and it can't keep up with me, right? So
it can barely not. Sorry, but
or internal.
I got a good hit.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, even if I win this,
that was back reg that you hit me with a Gauss.
Like one of them back regged, like, and still, it's like you survive.
Yeah, I lived through a Gauss with I have no armor on my back,
like,
zero
if
armor.
I win this, it doesn't even say anything.
Yeah. I got literally 0 back armor, and I have enough structure from the survival skills that I live anyways. Taking a Gauss to 0 back armor 20-ton. Like late mech. Interesting.
Oh, Ghost, are we still good for 6 minutes?
Ooh, that was good. Good. Yeah, I actually got back reg there, somehow.
Yeah.
Just play it out.
I'm gonna switch to my computer.
Nice. Did I over twist?
No, don't think so.
Okay, just back right. It's worth keeping for testing
Like,
purposes.
it was just. And again, both of these depend heavily on player skill as well. I think this is valid.
Yeah, I think, but like my mech doesn't take nearly as much player skill to run as like hitting my mech. You know, being on your side requires more skill. I'm literally just running in circles and going for your legs. Like, it isn't.
How's it going, boys? What are we up to?
1 second. I think at this point I can just like scam. Like no damage.
Even the XE doesn't twist fast enough.
You don't twist fast enough, and also because you're so tall, you can't really aim down at it.
Yeah, I think you're off my screen, but
Yeah.
that's theoretically possible. It's just, it doesn't twist fast enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Target acquired.
Okay then.
Yeah.
He went torsos. Interesting. You went legs. Was hitting them very like kind of difficult to track them when I'm like under you.
Yeah. I can try torsos as well.
All right, let's run it again.
Target acquired.
I think legs is better on the Piranha.
I think depending on what you're running, yeah, but in this case it was clearly better. Because if you can leg me too, then you can just run off and you have more range and or like a legged fish is a dead fish, right? So
I mean, if I can leg you, I can jump.
yeah, it's kind of rough when you put yourself in the rocks like that, huh?
Yep.
Left leg.
Well done.
Target acquired. Activated.
basically excel in this.
You're what?
I'm excel. Yeah. I fucked up a few shots there. It's kind of
Yeah.
like I didn't notice that my top of my mech is visible.
Yeah, it kind of is like sticks up, huh?
Yep.
Target acquired.
Well done. I didn't realize there was like invisible wall there. I couldn't get behind you.
Yeah, I was just trying to get shots. I wasn't going to go there. It's just that.
I think we can safely say that without a wall to back yourself up to against, you can't win. It's not a fight you can win, realistically.
Yeah. This is not winnable.
You did have me.
I shouldn't have dropped down the rock there.
Yeah.
That was my mistake.
Yeah, we can run it again.
I was having good shots, so I was like, I can kill him. Let's just jump down.
This thing is definitely, don't underestimate it.
Yep.
Target acquired.
Oh shit, I dropped again.
Yeah.
No, it's hopeless. Like, I can't really turn.
Okay. Are you just dropping it like by accident, or just because like you feel like you can't get angles on me, or?
The piece of rock that I'm standing has a little slippery edge.
Oh, you want to try going back to like at the very spawn, like the back wall? Like, why don't you climb up there?
Can do that. Let me see.
Because that's kind of like the ideal position, I think.
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah,
It's basically
it's okay.
flagging.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
Get up there and tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah, when I don't have the room to like maneuver and it's difficult to like stay up there, then you do much better. It's clearly apparent.
I mean, compared to something like a Flea, I don't think Piranha is like that maneuverable. It's just that the big mechs don't really have enough turn rate and twist rate to deal with that stuff.
Target acquired.
really good burn into me at the end. I went from like orange armor to like open orange structure. But wasn't enough.
Target.
No.
Yeah. Just not very likely.
Nope. Let me try some medium brawlers other than the Black Lanner.
Yeah, let's do it.
Command to all
Override
warriors on the surface.
engaged.
Your task is to wipe away all hostiles. Show no mercy.
Target acquired.
I can't aim up. There.
Critical.
This is clan command.
Yeah, it's much tougher when I can't like maneuver properly. Let's try that again. I want you to stay in the rocks, and then I will go torsos this time.
Yep.
Target acquired.
Yeah. I think whenever like I can't circle around you and abuse the, the speed and the even the agility to some point of the Piranha, that it gets slapped down really hard when you're kind of forced to stand still. All right, let's try in the open though.
Yep.
Acquired.
Very nice.
Respond. This is clan command.
The jump jets also help a lot for you.
Yeah.
So that might be the difference between this and the Black Lanner. Obviously, lower arms, good too, but yeah.
I used the jump jets once, I think, probably, to just on the last kill shot.
Yeah, to get that angle.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I got your leg, then I might be able to like stay behind you,
Yeah.
because your agility goes way down. But you got me right before that happened. It's good.
Yeah.
So Nova seems to be a good counter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Go ahead. I'm listening, and I think like Nova is like a hard counter per se to it, but it's still interesting that I managed to leg you in that last one. Obviously, when you're up against terrain, it's not even close.
Yeah. The what's it called? Although there's one thing though, like with the Nova, you have to be able to track. Like if you fuck up
Online.
a few shots, you're dead.
Online.
What you testing?
Piranha A.
Target
Versus.
acquired.
Right now, nope. Did a couple things.
How are the results so far?
Nova is kicking my ass as a result.
Under the rocks again.
Yeah, kind of. I know you didn't do it on purpose. Are you hot though?
No, not at all.
Damn. Yeah, it's a good counter then.
I mean, I can keep going for like 2-3 fights like this back to back.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, so that mech seems to just slap this one down no matter what. Assuming that both pilots are skilled.
If you can do clean burns.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no chance.
Like, there's nothing I'm doing that, like, even like the top 97% tile players in Jarl's list, in my opinion, couldn't do. I'm literally just running circles around you and going for your legs. Like, nothing I'm doing takes any amount of skill. So that's why I really don't like it, even though it's not OP in my opinion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I literally brought up a discussion in the Cauldron about exactly what you're referring to. It's not exactly, but very similar. It's about, rather than looking at balance in terms of this is strong, this is weak, and just leaving it at that. It's looking at it in terms of what the meta is and how that meta would ideally be. And so the two examples I brought up were machine guns and then ER large lasers. So the recent nerf to the clan ER large is not because they're overpowered. It's because a lot of people don't like the sort of gameplay that they enable in quick play, opposed to like the extremes. So, for example, ER large, if you drop in a pure ER large mech and you hit Solaris City, it shouldn't be good.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's just part and parcel of the extremes. And the same with if you drop in a Brawling Atlas and you hit Alpine Peaks, Conquest, you're probably not going to have a good time. But that's just the nature of how quick play is set up currently. And that's why mid-range flexible mechs, mid-range mechs that can run decently fast are always going to be the most consistent because they have the best opportunity to have an impact in every map and game mode. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's why something like an Execution with Clan Large Pulse, high mounted, like it's such a consistent farming mech. Not because it's incredibly strong, but because it's so flexible. So
yeah,
the goal with Clan Large in that regard is to make sure they're not so strong that if you get an unfavorable map in game mode, that you can still farm a lot with them. But you want them to be decent, of course, to be able to be used. They need to be consistent enough to be able to be used on average in quick play, but not consistent enough time. And it was just cancerous.
Yeah.
So it's improved. It has improved a lot, definitely.
No, I agree with you. I think
take positions and do movements and things now. Like you can actually do stuff. Before,
as much as go on.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm just saying. Just before, if you didn't NASCAR, you would just lose.
Yeah,
like, that was it. Like
I did like play. Even though I wasn't like nearly at my skill level now or like that into the game, I do know what you're talking about. I know you're telling the truth. I just yeah, I think that you guys have done a great job, but you know, you can always make improvements, and it's never going to be perfect, is the truth. But
it doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, you can get to a state where you can. I'm looking at it right now with like machine guns, like completely rebalancing them. So what I'm looking at is basically removing the bonus crit chance, making them a normal weapon in terms of crits, but increasing their range by like a lot. But like, so they've got 400 meter optimal, for example, and increasing the accuracy. So you can actually use them as a mid-range weapon, but they're not just going to be crit seeking like cancer sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you get sprayed in the back by Piranha from 500 meters away and you just lose all your weapons instantly. That's not the goal. It's like you want to be sprayed in the back by the Piranha and go, oh shit, I have to turn around and deal with this. Because if I don't, it'll eventually kill me. But it's not like, oh, it just blew out most of my weapons and now I'm useless.
Yeah.
Like, it's a balancing. The Piranha should be able to, you know, run some light machine guns, engage a long distance, have lower DPS than other options, but still be a danger, but without just ruining people's games. That's what I'm looking at now for light machine guns, for example.
On the forums.
Oh yeah, it was anticipated. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't release this mech. Like, it's going to be fucking annoying.
Yeah, some people were asking, oh, release the Piranha games, Piranha, it's going to be iconic, whatever. And then people were saying that, hey, dudes, you can't really balance this mech. Like, no matter what you do, like 12 machine guns means that either machine gun's going to be useless across the board in the game just because of the mech, or you're creating something that's just like way over the top.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
So my observation with this Piranha is, as well, that I hadn't really commented on, but I think that the existence of a mech like this, it doesn't even have to be machine guns, it can just be like pure SPL or whatever. But the existence of a mech that goes this fast and can 1v1 almost anything with less skill than the other pilot has to have, it really limits map, like being able to move around the map. Because if you always have to be afraid of like, oh, if I go by myself or even just with 2 people, if like 2 piranhas or even 1 piranha like jumps me, I'm just dead very fast too. Like I won't even have time to like get to my teammates or ask for help. Like that is, in my opinion, not very good for the game. Like you were saying, why would I take like a bigger brawler in that case when I can just take this and like have that sort of presence, jump on anything by itself and kill it, no problem, and then be able to run away before their teammates can react. I don't know how you'd solve that again, because I think there's like a lot of light mechs that can do that, and you do want like light mech brawlers to not be useless. So it's kind of difficult, but it does suck that with a lot of mechs you feel like you can't divert from your team at all. You're kind of forced to stay in a ball because a light mech can just jump you, and it can be like anywhere on the map because they're harder to scout, because they're smaller and they're really fast, and you can just die like with no hope of really being able to fight back, even if you have like a mid-range build. Sorry, let me... a second. For whatever reason, my machine guns are... You cooked yourself.
Yep.
Sorry, Crass, what did you say?
Like strafe around it and then crit out all its weapons from the back, and then it's only got shitty like lasers left or whatever.
Or just abuse its low amounts depending on what mech it is. So it can't shoot back at you, yeah. It's endless options, really.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to balance.
I know it is. Or else you guys would have fixed it. Like, it's definitely not easy. I don't know how you guys are going to try to fix it, if it's even possible without rescale like you said, but...
Even with rescale, I don't think it's possible. I mean, it's designed to be broken in tabletop.
But I think it's fixable with rescale, but the problem is it's fixable, but it makes lights useless again, like many lights.
Yeah.
So it's like a catch-22.
But I don't think...
balance.
I don't agree with lights necessarily being useless, though, in that case. If they can... As long as they can 1v1 and a dedicated sniper, like you said, then they aren't going to be useless, because they're going to be able to get onto that sniper much easier than a brawling Atlas will.
Yeah, but what do you have to pay for it? That's...
Sorry, Go-Go, you're way too quiet. I can't hear you with machine guns running. Give me a second. I don't know why machine guns are so freaking loud. I don't think any light mech will beat the Piranha on 1v1. I did testing when we were in the 2v2s with MPG, and everything lost, essentially. Like, not even close. And it was even worse if, like, I think it was, like, the Cypher, because you had enough bursts as well to, like, burn off and open things against other light mechs. And machine guns just take out the structure. Anyways, though, sorry, go out. Let me turn you up. Go ahead.
Like, there's no way, and a Brawling Atlas, unless it gets like a lucky shot on the approach, there's no way a Brawling Atlas can beat a light mech.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, just cracking the knuckles, get the farm, you know, the combine going.
With you Act 2, there's just no way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm signing into it.
Grasshopper.
Try to farm your arm here. Taking a lot of damage when I decided to not go for the kill, though. Did get it, though.
Oh no, jams! No, no! No, don't jam.
Now I get to farm you for 1,000 damage and make a video talk about how the Piranha's OP.
No, I mean, I've tried this specific build fighting lights. You think you can take it on, but you're in for a much bigger fight than.
Hey guys, just gonna have some clips from my Piranha stream play in the background while I talk for a bit here. I want to be clear that 1 vs 1 performance is not super indicative of quick play performance. Even though this mech seems incredibly strong looking at these 1 vs 1s, it still has some big disadvantages that weren't really shown here. The biggest one being lack of range. Even though it's fast as hell, if the enemy is in a death ball, it's probably going to be hard to shoot the enemy without getting focused by multiple mechs. Another weakness is lockout weapons, which are pretty effective against it. I got slapped by streaks a couple times actually. Not just on my stream, but a couple other times I played it alone. Something else I want to clear up is that I don't think it's a bad thing for a dedicated brawler, even if it's a light brawler, to beat a higher tonnage mech that is more long range focused. In fact, I would argue the late brawler should win, provided it takes little damage on approach and has a skilled pilot. But when a brawling light can beat a brawling assault mech, it has good agility and arm mounts like the Gargoyle, piloted by a top tier pilot. There's probably an issue with the game, especially when that light mech is doing nothing skillful at all, only running in circles while leg hugging its opponent. So are light mechs overpowered? Maybe a few select ones with too many quirks. But I would instead argue that rather than the few mechs that are decent with brawling weapons being OP, the real problem is that close range weaponry on anything below 80 kph is just absolute trash. Despite what some good players might say, slower mechs with close range weaponry are not only hard to play, but are also inconsistent as hell because they rely on how other players position and are near useless on many maps. As seen in the video, even in close range scenarios, they often get wrecked. Personally, I see many possible changes that could alleviate the problem. The first and best would be rescale, which if done properly with focus on bigger mechs, would allow many assault mechs to pitch far enough down to actually shoot the leg hugging lights. It would also help spread damage easier, so it would just help assault mechs in general, especially the closer range ones. Realistically, rescale isn't going to happen. Another change I could see is to buff slower mech agility. It would help track lights, and it would help to twist in a brawl. Third change would be to make the mobility section and skill tree change its percentages based on tonnage. It's already how it works for the survival tree, which gives far more armor percentage-wise to light mechs, like the Piranha, compared to assault mechs, such as the Gargoyle. It would make sense this would be how it worked for agility too. Let's not forget about the maps. Creating more avenues and ramps for assault mechs to move while having cover, in order to close the distance on opponents, would help them a lot. A good example of a map that could be made a lot better for slow brawlers by adding some ramps would be Hellebore Outpost. I strongly believe we should also buff higher tonnage, close range weaponry such as LB-20s and snub those PPC. Hopefully this is already in the works, although some people still think these weapons are acceptable as of now, even though, as far as I know, they're performing terribly. Last thing I can think of would be to restrict or add new game modes. As of now, every game mode except Conquest encourages teams to stay in a death ball, then either NASCAR or camp. Assault brawlers are too slow to catch the enemy NASCAR, and are only good for camping if the enemy stupidly walks into you. Map control is completely irrelevant in most cases. Making the game always Conquest or adding a new game mode that encourages teams to spread out around the map would mean that getting smaller scale brawls is more likely, and in the case of Conquest, forcing the enemy to push in your brawl mech if your team is holding more caps. As of now, many people dislike Conquest, but I still think there are ways to improve it, such as adding a higher ticket count based on the map size. Well, I talked way longer than I anticipated. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.